Good morning again. I got a couple additions under number 7, agenda item number 7. The sheriff's got an announcement to make. Gonna add that. Under miscellaneous, I've got a couple. There's going to be another request to fill a position, and then I think you gentlemen have seen the letter from Lindsay Kennard. We'll discuss that.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's it. Make sure I'm right there. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got vouchers and a grand total of $274.
Do you want to do minutes here first, sir?
Oh, didn't I do them?
No.
Oh, I marked it off because I'm way ahead of myself.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the January 5th, 2026 regular meeting of the Asotin County Board of Commissioners.
I'll second that motion.
Keep me in mind here, boys. Okay. I've got a motion and a second. Any more discussion, comments, etc.? Nope. Okay, all those in favor of approving of the minutes of the January 5th, 2026 meeting, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Motion passes. Myself. Good. All right, now we're going to approve the vouchers for a grand total of $274,014.07. Just one copy. All right, agenda item number 5 is our first open to the public. If you'd like to address us commissioners, we please, if you can, stand, give us your name, your address. That's voluntary, but we do limit our comments to 3 minutes. All right, I don't see anybody in the audience with their hands up. Is there anybody online with their hand up? Or no hand up yet. Okay, well, we do have a second public open to the public too, so if we get anybody on there. Okay, all right. We'll be there. All right, number 6, we have Joshua Malcolm, our Public Works Director, County Engineer. He's got a couple items, correct, Josh? Yep.
All right, good morning. Yes, 2 hopefully fairly easy ones. The last one we talked about last week briefly. This is the intent. So last week we talked about the issues with potentially vacating the county roads within Vineland Cemetery. So this is the resolution just declaring the intent, which formalizes the process. So we've got a public hearing scheduled for January 26th. I've already got that on the docket. Stacy's got that. Did the first notification this morning, or excuse me, yesterday in yesterday's paper, and then another one next week in order to meet all of the RCW requirements. So basically, this is just declaring the intent. We'll have the public notice, comment period, and then the actual public hearing on the 26th. We'll give it another week, and then the following week, if everyone is on board, we'll do the formal resolution to actually vacate.
Okay, so today's just discussion. It's listed as action.
It is. So there's a resolution for the board's signature to just declare the intent to vacate. Okay. It's essentially starting the process for the public hearing. That's all it is.
Yeah, I just want to make
the final decision would be made after the public hearing and comment.
So we can go ahead with this resolution today.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure. And sometimes that's different.
And the reason, and one of the reasons this is needed, just to be clear, is because this is being driven by. There's 2 options: either the board direction or someone, whether it's a homeowner or an individual petitioning. So obviously no one's petitioning. So this is being driven by the board's direction. So that's why.
So Mr. Chair,
hopefully that makes sense.
And notices have been posted.
Correct.
At the entrances to the library. So people have.
Thank you.
At the entrance to the cemetery, correct. Yeah. Yes, that's part of the RCW requirement, is that we have to post a notice at the entrance of the roads to be vacated. And that was done last week.
Mr. Chair, would you like a motion for resolution
Yes, I would,
approval?
please.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve resolution number 26, and what's the second number?
Owen.
01, okay. I thought it would be, but I wanted to make sure.
It's on the.
Declaring intent to vacate the right-of-way within Vineland Cemetery, County Road numbers 04730, 04750, 04810, 04820, 04850, 04870, 04880, 04900, 04930, and 04970 in Asotin County, Washington.
I'll second that motion so eloquently presented.
I want you to read them again.
I can.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. Any more comment, discussion on this?
I think it's time we did it.
Yeah.
And the only other one that I'm just trying to speed up the process a little bit, I also included the engineer's report, which you're directing me to do, but I've already done it based on the discussion last week. So I just took the initiative. So you've got that, and essentially, it's just part of the recommendation and part of the consideration. That's it.
Okay. I guess my only comment on it, I was kind of wondering why this wasn't done in the first place.
Yeah, it should have been done when
Should have
they
been done. We never
formed
took
the
care of it.
district.
Okay, any more comment, discussion, questions? Okay, I'm just going to, all those in favor of approving resolution number 2601, I'm not going to read the whole resolution. Okay, that's all right. You guys have? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, motion passes unanimously. Signatures for all three of us. Just a second, Josh, we'll get to your second one there.
Sure, no problem. While you're doing that, just one piece of additional information. I did speak briefly with the staff at Vineland Cemetery last week, and really the only question that they had, no concerns on the road vacation, was that their stormwater fees are going to go up, which is true because right now they only pay for the parking lot on the upper level, and then they'll pay for all the roads. I mean, or at least the stormwater fees associated with all the roads, which are calculated just like anything else based on the area, the total area. So I gave them that information, and it will be a significant increase in the stormwater fees, but I mean, that's like any other, they just have to budget for it.
And I know we discussed the closure of the one road coming up. It's just starting where the cemetery, Vinland, is that what? Yeah.
Correct. It'll start where the gates are, or right just prior to the gates.
Prior to the gate, so, okay. Okay, so make sure of that, so we are. All right, let's see, all right, your next is your supplement agreement?
Correct. So the next one, so this is the Snake River Road project. We talked about this briefly, I think maybe a couple of meetings ago. So, Consor, who's our consultant, had approached me about some changes to so the last time we did a supplement for this one, I want to say was back in June, the first week of June, and originally they came to me with an increase, which I told them was not going to be supported. So we were able to work out to stay within their current budget, scale back on a couple of items, and increase where there was areas. So the bottom line is there's no net increase to their contract. The other thing that we are doing is pulling the completion date back to the left. Originally it was set in 2027, and the reason it's being pulled back to the left is this is essentially going to close that contract out after the project goes for bid. And the reason for that is this contract, as you know, has been out there since I want to say 2013. It is not compliant with the current, if for no other reason, it is not compliant with the current WSDOT standard contract templates and requirements. So we're going to have, even if they end up supporting us in the construction phase, we're going to need a new contract anyway. So this essentially just gets us through the bid phase. And again, no increase in costs. And I appreciate them being able to work through that with me. So that's all this is.
Okay.
So should be fairly minor, but that's really the two reasons we're doing that.
Okay. Thank you.
Sheriff, question?
Yeah.
I know a couple weeks ago you had some concern about their performance. Has that been resolved?
I wouldn't say it's been resolved. The issue is the right-of-way phase is taking longer because they've had a tough time getting a an appraiser on board. We did give them the name of a local appraiser who they have been working with. They haven't gotten back to me yet on if they've gotten a final price and timeline for that, but yes, that is still out there.
Well, I guess that you got, well, at least kind of putting them in their place on this right here anyway.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I'm up.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve supplement number 8 to the agreement LA 6541 with Consor North America Incorporated for Snake River Road, milepost 19 to milepost 21.97.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval of the supplemental number 8 to agreement LA 6541. Any more comment, questions, et cetera?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, all those in favor of approval of supplement number 8 to agreement LA 6541, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Both unanimous there. This is my signature, so I'll get these in quick. Anything else where we got in the hot seat?
No, I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. I brought down 2 new pens this year.
Yeah, you tend to go through them.
Okay, all right. Like I said, agenda item number 7, we got a couple items from Sheriff Hildebrand. The first one's with Field Spring State Park. Elise.
Morning, Commissioners.
Yeah. Morning.
I think you have before you the site lease agreement for state parks with the Hill Spring Puffer Butte communication tower. That's a kind of a continuation. It had expired at one time, and they were looking for more information. I'd like to thank Mr. Malkin, Ms. Kemp, and Nick for helping compile that information to get that site lease agreement. And I think this is just looking for the chair's signature to enter into that agreement.
I think the amount is on like second or third page, right? I was trying to find where the signature page is.
Yeah, it's on page 3 of 30.
3 from out.
The amount?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gives the back rent and the rent for next year, or for this year, next year, and the year after.
Correct.
Okay. And
I'm finding signature page.
And I think the signature is on page 20.
yeah. Let's see, Kurt did 14. Let's see. Might Lisi up here then probably.
I guess I didn't see that one. What page is
It's
that?
14.
14, okay. Yep, I see
I
that.
just want to make sure Kurt reviewed this also.
And then on page 20, there's another one.
Looks like it. Yeah. So there.
Yeah. Page 14 and 20.
Are you ready, Mr.
Yes.
Chair? Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, make a motion for board approval and chair's signature of Field Spring State Park Communications Site Lease number L 172001AS03.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any more comment, discussion, questions? Now we know where I cite it. We're good there.
Did you want the dollars and cents in the motion or not?
Yes.
Okay, the back rent due is for $64.15. The rent for 2026 is $2267.90. For 2027, it's $2335.93. And finally, for 2028, it's $2,406 due in 2028, January 1.
The next page kind of shows us just a $250 increase. So
Yep.
all right, I got a motion and need a second?
Yes, I did.
All right, any more comment, questions, et cetera? Okay, all those in favor of approval of the Field Spring State Park Communication Site Lease number L172001AS03, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All right, you have us again. I'll get the sign here. Oh, I dropped it. Yeah, be marked a little better. Save time, if that's okay with you, gentlemen, I'm just gonna sign a couple during the meeting and a couple after.
Sounds
Okay?
good to me.
Is that all right?
Yep.
We don't have to watch me.
Yeah, it's no fun watching you.
I will agree there 1,000%. So make sure I get these all signed. Then we're done after the fact. Okay. Yeah, I'll sign 2 copies for sure, which I just did. The original for sure. Yeah. Cool. Oh, we got that done. All right, John, agenda item number 2 for you, 7B, is closure, or go ahead.
Anyway, it just came to my attention this morning that we do have a emergency personnel issue tomorrow. The office will be closed from noon to 5 tomorrow. Business will resume Wednesday at the regular standard time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else while we got you in the hot seat, John?
Okay.
Nothing.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Fireworks problems or anything?
No. Thank you, sir.
Yep. All right, thank you. All right, agenda item number 7 done. All right, number 8, Nick Bacon, our Emergency Service Director, got a discussion for some bylaws, correct? Correct. All right. Thanks for showing up this morning.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
What you have before you for your input is draft bylaws for a joint local emergency planning committee, or LEPC, with us and Nez Perce County. LEPCs are a requirement under the Emergency Planning Community Right to Know Act, or EPCRA. And additionally, WAC 1184160 also has some requirements. This group is intended from EPCRA's standpoint to provide guidance in the planning for hazardous materials events. However, many jurisdictions in the state, both the states of Idaho and Washington, as well as nationwide, use these groups as an all hazards planning group. It's essentially a committee of stakeholders that help guide the planning efforts for the emergency management organization. For the entire calendar year of 2025, we held meetings kind of concurrently with us and Nez Perce County because of the significant overlap in services. Fire and EMS are not fully integrated, but are fairly integrated with mutual aid agreements. Our stakeholders, such as the business community, the Chamber of Commerce, fully integrated. Public transportation, fairly close to fully integrated. And we really felt that it was better, number one, for our planning efforts, so that we weren't writing our plans in a vacuum from each other, because truly, if there is one major emergency that affects the populated area of Asotin County, it will also affect Nez Perce County. A good example would be the natural gas pipeline issue we had in the fall of 2023. Both communities equally affected, resources limited. Communication was very key between both emergency management organizations. So that was kind of the consensus was, it's better to have these meetings together, and also truly it's kind of a courtesy to the stakeholders. They don't have to go to 2 meetings that are 80% the same on an annual or a quarterly basis. Commissioner Sewert's been participating. The sheriff has participated several times. I believe Josh has come to 1 or 2 of them. And additionally, this group also helps guide other planning, training, and exercise efforts with emergency services throughout both Asotin and Nez Perce counties. So what I have before you is draft bylaws that were developed between myself and Nez Perce County's emergency manager, because although there are no state level requirements in the state of Idaho, they are just simply subject to the federal requirements. Washington does have some state level requirements, which includes having bylaws and recording or reporting the membership roster to the state annually. So we went through and drafted up some bylaws that don't necessarily infringe or provide any direction or regulatory requirements on Nez Perce County, but still check all of the boxes for the Asotin County and Washington requirements. These have been reviewed by Kurt He provided some input. Specifically, he thought that because if you read EPCRA, and the WAC, it is very vague as to who all is on the committee, right? It's pretty much anybody and everybody that wants to be there. And Kurt recommended, why don't you name the specific entities? Again, it's an open public meeting and anybody is welcome to come, and we're willing to listen to anybody that has input on a specific subject. Case in point, let's say public safety power shutoffs from Avista. People might want to come and provide their input to that. They're always welcome. But Kurt suggested we list out specifically the entities that would be voting members at the table if they come. It is a lengthy list because, again, EPCRA and WAC 118 require a fairly lengthy list. We also wanted to make sure we had uniformity between Idaho and Washington stakeholders represented. Other than that, it's all pretty standard. Officers will rotate between myself and James Witterjack, the Nez Perce County Emergency Management Director. We figured that was going to be easier than trying to get someone from the group to step up and be an officer. Secretary will be elected. I have a volunteer in mind who's has said that they're likely willing to accept that responsibility moving forward. Just really wanted input from the commissioners. If there's anything you see that you feel needed to be added or removed from these bylaws, the intent is to put them in front of the LEPC at the January meeting, which is the 28th of January. They have been sent to Nez Perce County's Board of Commissioners, and as of Friday last week, they had no comment or additional changes.
Question?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago or a week ago, you sent out Asotin County's emergency management plan, the draft plan.
Yes. 200
pages worth. I didn't make it through all 200 pages, but I was struck by a similarity in that on the list of members of this advisory committee and the list of authoritative agencies or whatever you called it. And I sent a copy of that to Lewis Clark Valley MPO because they were on the list, and they had never heard of it before. You know, I noticed that neither they nor Palouse Regional Transportation Planning is on this list. Don't know that they need to be, but I just wanted to know if there was a difference in that.
Okay. My contacts is through Lewis in Transit. It's their transit manager, Chris Usher, has been the participant in the LEPC, and he also did provide some input.
That's good.
Through.
Yeah.
But no, you're exactly right. So you're talking about the comprehensive emergency management plan. Yeah. This group, the LEPC, is essentially, in layman's terms, your Rolodex of people you're going to include in your planning efforts.
Well, when I sent it to Becky, who's the director of both the MPO and the PRTPO, she said I had never heard of it before. So, do you know what our role is? And I said I'm sure that Nick Bacon will reach out to you when.
If you could give me her contact information, I would love to do that.
Yeah. Okay. That other than that, you know, that's a very comprehensive plan.
Thank you.
Just real quick, you said you're going to vote in secretary or try to appoint. Does there have to be a quorum for? I didn't see anything that.
Because of the large and vague nature of the committee, I did not put any quorum requirements in.
So you'll probably just at the meeting.
But yeah, whoever's present.
Vote, and that'll be a quorum.
Yeah.
Okay, quorum is those who are present.
Those are present, 50%.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just looking. I believe there's 36 entities listed, and it's not always. Even though we do run it as a hybrid, it is still not always easy to get everybody at the table at the same time.
We had almost everybody at one time that was full. That's all I had. Just want to make sure we follow. And it's, like I said, that's pretty gray area how this is supposed to be set up. So, anything else, gentlemen?
No.
Okay, then you'll bring this back to us for action item after you hear from.
If that's what you'd like me to do, yeah. I mean, the intent was to have the LEPCs adopt these bylaws because they're their bylaws on January 28th at that meeting, and then I can get a copy back to for records.
All right. Perfect. That's where I was going. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Anything else? What we got you there?
Just that as Commissioner Shin mentioned, the comprehensive emergency management plan is currently in the 45-day review window with the state of Washington. Hopefully they don't send back a lot of changes My fingers were bleeding after typing that whole thing. And the hazard mitigation plan, the Asotin County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, is due next year. So we're going to start that, the efforts to update that. That is going to be a locally led initiative because, so in 2020, if I remember correctly, it's 2019, 2020 is when that last planning process started for the hazard mitigation plan. We used a consultant. We had grant funds available to use a consultant. Those grant funds are not currently available. And even if they had been available, if we had applied for them last year, all of those grants are currently tied up in litigation between the state of Washington, multiple states, including the state of Washington and the federal government. And the performance periods are subject to change. So I'm not alone. There are a lot of emergency managers across the state of Washington and probably the nation who are now basically having to do this ourselves versus hire a consultant to do it. But that process is going to begin here soon. And I did have a good meeting with Emergency Management Division, and they said, you don't really need to do a whole rewrite. Your plan you have is very good and should be an update process. So that's it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, number 9 is other action items. We got some miscellaneous. There's a request to fill a victim witness coordinator position.
I can do that.
You want to do that? Yes. You read my mind.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
The prosecutor's office has received a notice for the victim witness coordinator position, so they are requesting to refill that position. I did meet with Miss Weber, I don't know, sometime last week, Friday. I guess it was probably Friday. I think it was Friday. And discussed, as you recall, that the victim witness positions, we have a coordinator and we have an advocate. And there's some grant funding that we've had for a very long time through Commerce, which, as we are all witness to, has been dwindling. And so it's also supported by the Crime Victim Fund, Fund 119. But as we have to use funds out of that to match the salary and benefits, that's shrinking. So I went over numbers with her, so she's aware, and she'll be, when Prosecutor Lidke has some time, they can coordinate, but something we will definitely have to keep an eye on in regards to the coordinator and advocate positions and funding available. But at this time, they want to move forward with requesting to fill that position.
Sure, yep. Sure. Make a motion to fill the victim witness coordinator position.
Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any more comment, questions, etc.? Okay, all those in favor for the request to fill the victim witness coordinator position, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Cool. And I think you got another.
I have one more. Stacy Harmon has accepted a position outside, obviously, of Asotin County, because we don't have anything currently. And so her last day will be Friday, January 23rd. So requesting from the board to fill that soon-to-be vacant position.
Yep. Yeah, I would say, do we need a motion, sir?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that advertise to fill a position of board clerk.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any more comment, questions, etc.? Nope, mine either. Okay. All those in favor of the request to fill the Asotin County Board of Commissioners clerk position, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. So we advertise whenever you need to do that.
When time allows, I'll get to the many things.
Yeah. Okay. I have another one. Got an email from Lindsay Kennard, and she's the Recovery Navigator Program Manager and down at Quality Behavioral Health. She sent us a letter. I think you gentlemen got that. Yep. And we have she sent us a draft of what she wanted us to say I'll just read her email quick. I'm reaching out to see if you would be willing to write a letter of support for the Recovery Navigator Program for a grant opportunity. It would be greatly appreciated, and in an effort to assist with this, I have drafted an example for you to work from. So we just copied her example.
Yeah.
We are going to send it to her, and so she can forward it on, because we did not have that information of who to give it to. And so that's going to be handled, and we just copied it. So basically, bottom line, I just need a motion or Yeah, let's go ahead and motion it, so we got minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to sign the letter in support of the Recovery Navigator Program.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any more comment, questions?
I think it's a great program. I'm glad we're going after it.
Yeah, if anybody likes to see a copy of the letter, they can get it from us, you know,
Yep.
it's pretty boilerplate, you know, and it's, the request goes to, an Edward Burney Memorial Justice Grant, Assistant Grant.
Yeah.
JAG, which is not a normal JAG. Okay, let's see, I've had a motion, second comment, all those in favor of approval to send the letter, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Yes. Signatures. Good. Okay, agenda item number 10 is committee reports. You want to just start down there, Chuck?
Yep, I have no reports.
You want to we're done?
All is gone all week, yeah.
Okay, I, Tuesday afternoon had a Valley Vision board meeting, update on, companies we're trying to recruit into the area, got several in the works. On Thursday, we had the Lewis Clark Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization. We did some modifications to the transportation improvement plan, more or less really just updating it for projects that were underway or had already been completed. And there was nothing very exciting. In fact, it was like 18-minute long meeting.
That's all you had?
Yep.
Okay. I had legislative steering committee meeting agenda. I attended it virtually. Basically, this is the first legislative steering committee agenda of the year, and there's a lot of new LSC members. So they went over the policies, procedures, how to comment, and basically the bottom line was to say, please work with us through anything you want to get to the legislation. And there was a couple of people that might have commented they might go rogue, and I think we might also on Indian defense. But we'll see what happens there. Okay. And if I sent you guys the packet, quite a good nerve, but no real big decisions on a lot of stuff. So you'll see the priorities for the year. Again, I wish they would stick with one priority, and that's Indian defense, but it's cumulative effort there, I guess.
If I could add one thing there, speaking of legislature, there will be legislative call-in meetings starting. It will not be this Thursday, but next Thursday, and it'll be every 2 weeks till the end. Well, I think the last one is March 5th, and the location isn't decided yet, but everybody is welcome to come. There are public meetings, and the three legislators, Senator Mark Schessler and Representatives Joe Schmick and Mary Dye will be there, and they will give us updates on what's happening in the shortened session. And it's also a chance for citizens and others to give them a little push. So.
And I'm sorry, is that going to be both hybrid? Is it hybrid and
there will be a Zoom and link sent out, and it will also, right now they're going back and forth between two locations.
Okay.
But I'll provide that location later if you want to come in person.
Yes, and then we can get.
And what happens is the people that are going to be there locally will get there at 7 o'clock or Zoom in at 7 o'clock, and the actual legislators call in at 7:30 or a few minutes before, and it lasts about 30 minutes.
I had a comment from the, which we'll disregard.
I agree.
Okay, let's see.
I have my cheap hearing aids in. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, I just said they usually don't have anything of value to say.
Usually we don't listen to public comment outside public comment.
Yeah.
Okay, so agenda item number 11 is our second.
Do you have any meetings?
I just yelled about my legislative steering. That's all I had. Sorry. That's all I had right there. Okay, agenda item number 11 is our open public. Again, I ask if in public, if you please let's give us your name, address, where you are, and we do limit our comments to 3 minutes. And do we have anybody online? Looks like, oh, we do. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have. If you can state your name, address, if you'd like, and we will we always set a timer for 3 minutes. So as soon as we can hear from Ms. Corey M. Switzer.
Good
Hey,
morning,
go ahead.
Chairman Whitman, Vice Chairman Subert, Commissioner Shin, and soon-to-be ex-clerk Harmon. My name is Mr. Corey Schweitzer. I am here today because Asotin County is failing to comply with the Washington State Public Records Act and is obstructing transparency in the matters of significant public concern. On January 7th, I submitted public records request PDR 2601, seeking communications regarding my formal complaint H-25-795, which is the Washington State Auditor's investigation into the misuse of public funds for Judge Brooks Burns' legal defense by Curtis Lidke and Lisa Weber, and the county's unlawful withholding of those records in PDR 25-23, that's Public Documents Request. The county's response has been legally insufficient. It failed to provide a requirement exemption log for the withheld records under RCW 42.56.213 Subdivision 3, propose an unreasonable 6-week production timeline for a very narrow request, and ignored prior violations, including still withholding an email of PDR 25-23, which is the representation of Judge Brooke Burns by Lidke and Weber before the Washington State Supreme Court under a false claim of attorney-client privilege. Additionally, this board has refused to place my complaint on a public meeting agenda, denying the public an opportunity to hear how county resources were authorized for a judge's personal legal defense. I demand by January 15th a detailed exemption log and the release of the withheld email from PDR 25-23. By January 17th, I expect Asotin County to produce a reasonable production timeline for PDR 26-01, not to exceed 2 weeks. And I demand confirmation that my complaint will be on this next meeting's agenda with the remote public comment permitted. Continued noncompliance will result in an immediate lawsuit under RCW 42-56-550 and a formal complaint to the state auditor for your obstruction. The public's right to know is not optional. I expect lawful compliance without further delay. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. I don't think we got anybody else online, do we? Yeah, I don't think we have anybody else in the audience right now either. All right. Let's see, where are we at here? We have media next. We've got some media online. No hand raised, correct? Nope, no hand raised. All right. All right. Let's see. Well, we've got, I think, we're almost right on time, too. We can take you guys want a 5-minute recess and go to executive session at 9:42 or whatever it is. Okay. And this is going to be for personnel for RCW 4230.110.1G. Estimated time is going to be 30 minutes. We'll see what happens there. So thanks, everybody. Then we're going to have a budget work session at 11:30 because we have 2 execs back to back, and we'll resume the meeting then. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Yep.